Go, we're on.
All right. All right. So this is in the matter of the estate of Julio Gonzalez. It's an application to probate the last will and testament of Mr. Gonzalez as a muniment of title over 4 years. Please announce.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please the court. Alexander Neal is attorney for Carlos Gonzalez, ready to proceed.
Albert Beal appointed as attorney ad litem for unknown heirs, and we're ready to proceed.
Everybody that's there with Mr. Neal, raise your right hand, please. Do each of you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, Mr. Neal, call your applicant.
Very well, Your Honor. Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Carlos Gonzalez. I live at 4219 Durazno.
And how are you related to Julio Gonzalez?
He was my father.
And was he born on September 12th of 1912?
Yes,
Did he pass away on April 5th of 1992?
yes, he was.
And at the time of his passing, he was a resident of the city, county of El Paso, Texas.
Yes,
And at the time of his passing, he had a valid last will and testament. Is that correct?
yes, he had.
And you had filed the original version of that document with the court as part of these proceedings?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it's been far more than 2 years since your dad passed away. Is that right?
Yes, he has.
So let's talk a little bit about what happened. Your dad had this will and he filed it in the deed records of El Paso County, correct?
Right.
Is it your understanding that he believed that was sufficient to transfer title to his daughter Alicia, who's the beneficiary?
Yes, he did.
Wait a minute.
And your Alicia, your sister, has subsequently transferred or executed a deed on that property to you, correct?
Yes, she did.
And what property was that?
That was the property at 4219 Durazno.
And you recently were undertaking to sell that property, correct?
Yes,
And when you started the sales process, you were informed that there was a problem with the title to the property?
right. The title insurance could not go through because we need to probate it. I needed to probate it.
And so you were not aware that this will had not been admitted to probate, correct?
Right,
And to the best of your knowledge, whatever your dad had to do had been done.
right.
And that was what to the best of your knowledge and information, that's what your mom believed too, correct?
Yes, sir.
So as soon as you found out that there was a problem with the title to the property, you contacted me and started this process, correct?
Right, right.
And prior to that, you had no knowledge this will had not been admitted or filed for probate?
No, it has not been filed for probate.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to show you a document that's been filed with the court. It's a copy. Can you take a minute to look at it?
Yes, sir.
What's the date on that document?
It's 15th day of September, 1981.
And is there a signature at the bottom of that document on page one?
Yes, sir. My father's signature, Julio Gonzalez.
And you recognize that to be a signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, let the record reflect that the document that has been submitted by my client is his father's last will and testament.
Do you want to enter it into the record, Mr. Neal?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd offer it for evidence at this point.
The court will accept it.
Thank you, Judge. And to the best of your knowledge and belief, he did not have any children after the date of that will, correct?
No,
And he was not married at the time of his death,
no, he was not.
and he had 4 children, correct?
Right,
And that's your sister Alicia, who's now deceased,
right,
and yourself,
right.
and then your sister Eva Scales,
Chairman, right,
and Julio Gonzalez Jr.
right.
And so the only beneficiary that's named in the will is your sister Alicia, correct?
Right,
And you're asking this court to admit the will to probate as a muniment of title to correct the chain of title on the property at Durazno, correct?
right.
Very well. No further questions for the witness, Your Honor.
So is Alicia the one that is alive or passed away?
Sorry. Go ahead.
She passed away last year from COVID. It was April the 1st, last year.
Okay. Mr. Beal, you have any questions of the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Gonzalez, other than Alicia, Irma Scales, and Julio Gonzalez Jr., there are no other children?
No, sir.
Okay. Nobody's ever came forward and claimed to be a child who perhaps wasn't?
No, sir.
Nobody's tried to contact you about doing an affidavit of heirship or anything like that
No, sir.
today?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, and my understanding is you didn't discover this problem until you saw that the will was filed in the deed records and was brought to your attention by the title company?
Well, when I was, when we got a buyer for the house, and it had to go to a title company. Then, they said that, it needed the probate so they can go ahead and give a title insurance.
What can you tell me, Mr. Gonzalez, about Julio Gonzalez Jr.?
Yes, that was my brother. That is my brother.
Okay. And Mr. Neal says you don't know where he is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, when was the last time you spoke or saw your brother?
It was quite some time ago. He was having trouble with two women, and he I guess for one reason or another he didn't want to be found.
Did he go to your father's funeral?
No, he didn't know about it.
What's that? He did know about it?
He did not know about it. No, sir.
Okay. So I guess he didn't go to Alicia's funeral either.
Yes. No, he did not. He did not.
So have you heard from anybody in the family concerning Julio Gonzalez Jr.?
Have I heard from anybody?
Yes, about maybe a possible whereabouts.
Like I say, he was having trouble with two women, and I guess I don't know what the problem was, but he didn't want to be he didn't want to be found because he had trouble with two women.
Okay. And your sister Irma Scales, can she be found?
Yes, she lives in front of my house.
Okay. Does she know about this proceedings?
Yes, sir. I think she signed a paper.
Okay. All right, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Neal, so she signed a waiver?
No, Your Honor. So for Mr. Gonzalez Jr., we had to publish notice in Los Angeles, California, which was his last known address.
Alrighty.
As far as the Ms. Scales, there was attempted service on her on multiple occasions by the, I believe it was the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. No one would answer the door when they came to serve her. So we did file a motion for substituted service, and the court did grant that, and service was posted outside of her home.
Okay, all
And the
right.
return of service, we did file both of those proof of service with the court with the affidavit of notice.
And Judge, I reviewed those services and the return on the posting.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, so since he left, your brother left, you've never heard from him or from anybody that knows where he's at?
No, I used to go to California, but that was before he had trouble with the two women. I saw him a couple of times, and when I got drafted to the military, I got married, and time passed by. It was a couple of years that I had not seen him. I saw him then one last time, and that was the last time that I saw him.
How long ago?
I myself, well, that was the last time I saw him.
How long ago?
Was it been about maybe about I haven't seen him maybe about 15 years.
Okay. All right. Mr. Beal, call the first disinterested witness.
Judge, I don't think I've been provided names, but I'd be happy to call them.
Sir, the one in the orange, what is your name, sir?
Armando Madrid.
Go ahead, Mr. Beal. And the other one, what is your name, sir? The one behind Miss. What is your name, sir? Mr. Neal? They froze?
They froze.
They froze.
Put him, take him out and bring him back in.
Yes, sir.
No wonder they look like statues.
I was like, why aren't they answering him? There they are.
There they are. All right, we're back. You had frozen. Sir, what is your name? The other gentleman is there.
Hold on, they're muted, Judge.
Okay. There you go. Sir, the other gentleman, what is your name, sir?
Eddie Flores,
Okay,
1905 Happer Street, El Paso, Texas, 79903.
I
okay,
didn't hear the address.
that's fine. Go ahead, Mr. Beal.
Judge, would you swear 'em?
Yeah, they're sworn.
Oh, there's one?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Madrid,
Yes, sir.
how did you know Julio Gonzalez?
His son and myself used to go to a Lincoln Elementary School. And when we were young kids, and I used to be his friend, I lived about maybe a block away from his home.
Was that Carlos Gonzalez?
Carlos Gonzalez, yes, sir, seated right here.
Okay, did you ever hear about any other children?
No, sir, not all the time that I knew. I knew his big brother and one of his sisters. I didn't know the last sister, the older sister, that much, but I was acquainted with her.
His big brother would be Julio Gonzalez Jr.?
Excuse me, sir?
His big brother, you referred to his big brother. What was-
Yeah, I was a kid and he was an older man. So every time I went to his house, he was around until one day I just didn't see him anymore.
Okay, would that be Julio Gonzalez Jr. or do you know?
Julio Gonzalez Jr. We used to call him Kiko.
Okay, all right. All right, and have you looked at the will?
For
What's
the
the,
record, Your Honor, I handed him the same document that was reviewed by my client.
right? What's the purpose of that question, Mr. Beal?
Find out if he can identify the signature.
Well, we're not here on the signature. It's a original. We're here for heirs.
Heirs.
It's not self-proving, Your Honor, just for the record.
It's
We
not,
did have-
Not self-proven, Judge.
okay, then it's my mistake. It wasn't put on my docket. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Beal.
Yes, sir. I know that is dad's signature.
Okay,
And the reason I know that is because when we were young children, he was always trying to teach us how to write because we were barely starting to write. And we must have been maybe in the third, fifth grade, somewhere around there. But I do remember his signature because it almost resembled like he was gonna make a 7 and then put a tail on it at the end. That's all I can remember.
okay, good answer. All right, I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Any questions, Mr. Neal?
No, Your Honor.
The next witness, sir, Mr. Flores.
Mr. Eddie
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Mr. Flores, how did you know Julio Gonzalez, the decedent?
I used to call him my uncle because Manuela was my aunt.
Okay. And Manuela was his wife?
Yes.
Okay. And so you grew up with the kids as well?
No, I really didn't know him until my aunt passed away in 1963.
Okay,
And my father kept to himself that about his sisters, and I really didn't know my aunts until my aunt passed away in 63.
do you know if there were any children other than Alicia, Carlos, Irma, and Julio Jr.?
No, that was it.
Okay, you never heard about anybody claiming to be a child?
No,
Nobody
sir.
knows.
No, sir.
Okay. And you have the will there in front of you?
Yes, sir.
And are you familiar with Julio Gonzalez's signature?
Yes, sir.
And you believe that's his signature on the will?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Neal.
Nothing for me, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Beal, how many hours?
2 hours, Judge.
Item fees are 500. Now, Mr. Neal, if the title company passes this, that's fine because basically what the sister who has since passed away transferred the property when she didn't have any ownership in the property because the probate of the will had not been accomplished. That's fine, but oh.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Mr. Beal,
I'm gonna mute. I'll be muted.
I thought you were asking questions, but so I don't know if they pass it like that, Mr. Neil, I mean, more power to you, but that might be a problem. So, all righty. Gentlemen, what high school did you go to, Jeff?
Yes, sir. Jefferson
What-
High School, graduated in
state?
1968.
19 what?
1968.
Oh, you graduated with me.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
1968.
I graduated with me. I graduated in 1968. So, because I used to make the trek to Lincoln once in a while
Hey,
Okay,
to visit a girlfriend.
all right.
All righty. So I'm sorry for your loss. The court, after hearing testimony, will finds that the heirs of your father, Julio Gonzalez, have been identified, and Mr. Neal will get you the appropriate certified copy of my order, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
And nice seeing you. Please send a check to Mr. Beal, Mr. Neal.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right, everybody.